everyone. Welcome to THL's Hearthcenter, bringing you the highlights of the last week of THL. I am one of your hosts, Lotus Knight, and I am joined by my great crew tonight. First, we have Tom Carter. Tom, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing very well. Glad to be here once again.
Always glad having you. And we also have Impermanence here.
What's up? I am stoked to be done finals and ready to chat.
Nice. We have quite a long show. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to cover Hero, we're going to cover Legacy, Pro, Wild. We are doing player power rankings for all series. And I'm sure we're going to talk nerfs. We have checkout questions, so we're going to talk about the nerfs and changes. But we know Wild players are a little traumatized. So to track it, we're adding to this show a very special Demon Seed counter, which is going to count how many tangents we go on about the Demon Seed, or how many times the card is cited overall. So let's see. I recommend our viewers to bet on how many times you think we're going to say the Demon Seed or talk about it.
I got my bets in.
So, why don't we start the show? And we're going to start by looking at our players of the week. Ready?
Ready?
Now, Tom,
Get into it.
let's go. Tom, who is our hero player of the week?
Our hero player of the week is. Oh my god. I hope that I mispronounced this again. Raimiat. And we have words from Osmanot, which says Raimiat just wins an incredible cerebral 1 seed. On top of that, they make sure to get everyone else prepared. There is no lack of effort. Raimiat is the kind of player that makes teammates feel blessed. So congratulations, winning player of the week to Raimiat.
Yeah, Raimiat. Congratulations, however you say it. I have no idea, but Raimiat, or however it should be pronounced, congratulations on winning player of the week in Hero. Impermanence.
Yes.
This is a hard one. Do you want to say our legacy player of the week?
I was warming up already. We are good to go.
Okay.
We got some kind words from Sprinkle. Coming in from Legacy, we got Oxob 3333, or it's OXOB, but if it's a word, I'm going with Oxob. My money's on that. So another win in Legacy series this week makes Oxob a top-ranked 3 seed going into Week 5 with a perfect 4-0 match record. Love to see that. We're going to be talking about a couple of those today. Despite being their very first season in THL, that's impressive right there in itself. They consistently bring a great attitude and is always looking to improve their game for the upcoming week of matches. You'll love to see it. So congratulations, Oxob, on the job well done on your first season so far.
Congratulations, Oxob, on your legacy player of the week. Next, we have Pro Series. Tom, who is our Pro Player of the week?
Our Pro Player of the week is Jagatari, and we have words from Judo Chop, and I say, I must give Jag her props for whooping my behind on stream this week. The games were super fun, thrilling, and well documented. That means that you can watch Judo Chop get their ass beat on the bot here on Twitch, and pushing the Queens to the lead for the race for 3rd place in the Pink Conference.
Nice.
Very nice.
And finally, Impermanence, who's our Wild Player of the week?
So, finishing off with Wild, we got another rookie with username ABCD from ET Nazoth. And it's about time we acknowledge username as he dominates his rookie season as well. This week he took down one of the top players in Wild, OTZ, to maintain his undefeated streak and to also clinch the week for his team. He's been a major factor in their huge swing and success this season. So congratulations to you, username, and Combo King for MVP, perhaps?
Perhaps indeed. We will see what happens. But this is quite the showing. And Impermanence, if you want to be in the list, what do you have to do?
Well, you don't have to be 4-0, but if you win your week and you're putting in a consistent effort, I'm sure your captains will put in a good word for you. So make sure that you speak to them and yeah, get those votes in, everybody.
For sure. We love getting nominations from you to your friends, so please nominate them. We would love to know. We don't really look into all matches, but we don't know the details, so you can tell us what really happened.
Go ahead, butter your captain. Say, hey, I want to be nominated. I want Tom or Impermanence to say my name on stream. I want to be pinged by Bone Masher. Like, go ahead, do it.
Right? It's good for everyone. Plus, get to be featured. Sometimes we'll talk about your match. Sometimes we'll get confused and make mistakes. It also happens a lot.
Yes. So if you're going to ask your captain to nominate you, please have an easy to read username. That's just my requirement.
Yeah. Or make us read a hard name. It's always a possibility.
That's part of the fun.
Yeah, fun fact, username, I actually talked to them, and they have a different username for each platform. So they are like username ABCD, I believe here on Discord, but they are username DBCA on Twitch, and they are username BCDA on somewhere else. It's just really confusing.
I love having all the usernames.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, I gotta make a little adjustment. Thank you, Harmless Dog. I just gotta point out that username did feature at Demon Seed in their lineup this weekend, so we're gonna kick off the counter
Nice.
at 1 there. Yeah, just had to put it out there. Thanks for the reminder there.
Yeah. So we're going to hop straight into Hero as we finish Player of the Week, and I did increment the counter. It's on the next slide. So everyone ready to hop into Hero?
Ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so I'm going to ask Tom here to get us started with F2L Black facing ET Yashraj in Hero Series.
Let me go here. There we go. So we have F2L Black against ET Yasharj, or again, however you say that. We have still the 6 Shaman Rings, 6 Shaman Bands. We have F2L Black winning the week. Rebob on the first seed going 0-3 against Caleb. Starlax winning 3-1 against Lucero. And Laini winning 3-2 against LT Cavalry. For a really close series, 8-7, but not so much close matches. Because we have a sweep and then a 3-1.
Yeah, this is interesting. We almost had a scenario. I mean, it's impossible in the 3-player team that the losing team wins. You can at most have a tie, but we were very close to a hero tie. What do you think?
We needed a win from Rebob there. Way to go. Oh, no, sorry, never mind. Other team would have had to get another dub there. Darn it, Lucero.
Yeah, Caleb.
It is so close, though.
Yeah, and we have the ETO charge, bringing, as I said, 3 shamans, 3 priests, 2 paladins, 2 druids, which I believe it's just a little bit more, I don't want to say consistent, but they are more aligned with each other. F2L Black instead has Laini doing DK and Mage, but it paid off, so.
Certainly did.
Yeah, especially in that matchup, the DK looks pretty good into the Hunter and the Priest, at least. I think it has a good matchup into Druid as well. Kind of surprised not to see more of it, honestly, in this lineup. In this match, I should say. But yeah, definitely seeing a lot of the regular offenders here in Shaman. And I guess a little bit about the same as we normally see from Druid.
Yeah, I'm checking here, and it was the only DK bring of the week.
Wow. That's weird.
Well, if that is it, I want to move us to our second hero match. Everyone ready?
Ready?
So let's talk about Dola Corporate facing the Golden Wisps. And I'm going to ask Impermanence to take us through this one.
Yeah, so this one was not quite as close. Golden Wisps came out swinging, taking a 9-5 match W this week. We got wins coming from the second and third seeds from Lupin and Insanity for the Wisps. Lupin picking up a sweep themselves and Insanity winning 3-1. While on the other end, Ron Mexico continues his undefeated streak at 4-1, getting the 3-1 victory over Mick. Again, overall 9-5 for the Wisps. So great job there, guys. They came into this matchup clearly not liking the full Shaman bring from Dola. So we see another full Shaman ban from this team. Although this matchup, we are definitely seeing a little bit more of a variety in decks with 2 rogues on the Wisps, 1 on Dola, and quite a bit more DK in this matchup here. Seems like the DK lineups did go 50-50, like 1 getting the W for Dola and 1 getting the W for Wisps. And of course, actually only 1 priest versus the 4 in the other match there. So quite a bit more deck diversity here. And band diversity coming in from Dola as well. As we see a DH band. Haven't seen one of those in a while.
It's interesting.
Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, to clarify, when I say the only DK bring of the week, I meant within that conference. We have, as you can see on screen, more DK, but this is a different conference, of course.
But yeah, even still, like overall between the 2 conferences, this is what, 3-4 DKs. So 5 overall in Hero. Not as I honestly expected a little bit more, especially with how it matches up into the really popular decks like Shaman and Priest and Hunter and whatnot, right?
Especially if you're planning to ban Druid.
Yes. Is the Druid extremely favored in that matchup, actually?
Yeah.
Let me see. Dungar Druid.
I mean, at a certain point, you just look at Ron and you're like, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah, Dungar actually 63.4 in the last week into DK. So yeah, probably looks like that's the way right there. So Ron, yeah, coming in with the Druid ban, and yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, and Ron was actually one of the only 2 people that didn't ban Shaman this week. Again, on this conference.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Hero Saku coming in with the lone DH ban.
Well, but that's because his opponent didn't bring Shaman.
That is true. That is a good point. I mean, what would you really ban here if you're going? You got a couple. Well, you got a pretty aggro lineup plus Druid, so banning the opposing DH. They want to farm the DK, and probably looked at it thinking, you know, I can possibly race the Paladin on Druid or on my other aggro decks, and they just figured beat the Mage, I suppose, which I'm assuming was Elemental Mage.
I mean, you're saying that regarding what were you banned if they don't bring Shaman, but as someone who's been really looking over the feedback channel on DHL, you would be surprised about the amount of people that ban things that their opponent didn't bring. So
it's true.
Who knows?
Anything else anyone wants to say about this match before we move on to look at our special graphic for player power ranking and best team, really?
Bring us the power.
Yeah,
so let's take a look at our hero power rankings, and for this first one, I'm gonna ask Tom to take us through it. Tell us what is going on in Hero. Who are our players? Who are our teams that are doing really well? What is going on?
So we have Hero, which I believe. Let me look this up. I believe this is written by Epicat, right?
Sorry, what? The Oh no, it's not the player of the week. It's the image in the stream.
Yeah, no, I know the image, but I know the people that work on the
Yes,
power rankings.
I think it is
So,
Epicad and Mako, and I think you helped as well.
oh no, no, this this I
Not
didn't.
this one.
No. So we have, I believe the team is Amazing Goo, Epicat, Hudak, and the Valion. And Shmubirai is helping over with the Wild because the Valion was unable to participate this week. But I just wanted to give credit because they are here with us
Yes.
in the content channel. So for the power rankings, we have I believe that is the two conferences.
No, one
no.
side is the teams and the other side is the players.
Oh yeah, I got it now. So on the team side, we have the Fias, undefeated 4-0. On the first place, we have just 3 adjoining crewmates on the second, 2-1. They had a bye. Apolder Feast Mountain on the third, so 2-1. And then following on descending order, we have F2L Black, Wraith of the Beyond, Defy Us, which I believe managed to tie twice. Am I reading that correctly?
Yeah.
Huh. Amazing.
Or sorry, no, they lost twice. They won once. The tie is at the end.
Oh, I thought the tie was at the middle. Oh, yeah, because then we have, yeah, I got it now. We have A-Handed Death Punch on the 7th spot. Then we have a Paternal Milestone, followed by Missing Perfect Acronyms, which shows the other tie at the end. Now that makes sense. And lastly, we have E.T. Charge on the last spot. As for players, we have Novamity on the first place, also undefeated. Yellow Dart on the second place, 3-0. Epicat on the third, also undefeated, 4-0. And as I said, on descending order, we have Fresh Master Funk on the fourth place, placeholder on the fifth place, Run Mexico undefeated, as we just saw on the prior graph, Osmonaut, Classy, Rocked You, which I believe is here on chat, so hi, and lastly, Mikers on the 10th spot.
All right. Anything anyone else wants to say about these hero players and teams?
A lot of undefeated people already so far. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. More than I was expecting, honestly. But otherwise, yeah, summed it up pretty nicely.
I mean, the Fias on the first place is just, the Fias.
Defies domination, for real.
Yeah. I am surprised, though, to see undefeated people on the player side being, like, for example, Ron, who's 4-0, being lower than Fresh Master Funk and Placeholder, who are 3-1.
So
that means that they won against way stronger players. So Ron, because he's on the first seed, when he wins against another first seed, he kind of stands even.
Oh, is that how it works? Okay.
It is weighed. So if you win against someone you're really not expected to, it counts a lot more. Um, so it takes into account PR differences. This is
Oh,
especially
cool.
good for PR series. So
Yes,
if you beat
I
someone
believe so.
who's having a very or who has a much lower PR or that's having a very bad season, that is not going to count a lot.
See,
It,
okay.
it's not that is not going to count, but also if, for example, Fresh Mustafang and Placeholder won the series with a sweep instead of just 3-2,
Also counts.
that is also going to give them a bump because, technically speaking, they have a better win rate
Yeah,
overall, right?
it's true. It doesn't really count as a loss. It just doesn't ponder you as high as some of the others.
Is there a place for people online to see the formula for how the rankings are decided?
Um,
Unfortunately, I believe there's not. You can do the math kind of in your head, but last I looked at it, but just because of curiosity, because again, and this just is a general message to anyone watching who wants to participate in content creation. Um, Here at DHL, there are different teams that handle different things.
yes.
So the people who are in charge of the power rankings, although I'm able to look at what they do or participate a little bit, I'm not in their team. So what I know is just scraps of information. Um,
Yeah.
so
And what you can do, um, if you want, there's something that I always tell people, which is a very nice thing I do. If you don't like the way player power rankings are calculated, here's something you can do. Spam NHL and JFan one's inbox as much as you want. Just get it down. Just now's the moment. Send a lot of messages. Say you do not like it. You're mad, and maybe he'll get it done.
but I don't. He's not even in charge of that.
He was the one who implemented the formula.
Yeah, but I mean, he implemented so many things. Like,
It's true, but also it's always nice to get Marty some messages. He always wants more, so just ping them. Um, but should we move on to legacy?
yeah,
Ready?
go.
So let us move on to legacy, where our first match is going to be the Stubbs facing Anomaly Perplexed Me, and Impermanence is going to tell us about that match.
Sure. So this is going to be a match entirely comprised of 3-2 victories. Really close series with the Stubbs coming out on top, 16-14 overall. They clutched up on the first, second, and fifth seeds with Ramiette, Placeholder, and Osmonaut all getting dubs there. Placeholder actually subbing in at the second seed, so the team's probably extra um, thankful for that stepping in there. So thank you there, Placeholder. On the other side, Anomaly Perplexed Me, getting the third and fourth seed wins from Neverland and You Kitten Me. And it's kind of looking like a similar but more drastic story as Hero here, as we have 10 Shaman rings across the board. Every single player brought it, except there are only 9 bans. We are going to see another DH ban coming from Neverland into his match against Being Rachel, and that did seem to work out for him where he did get the win. Other than that, though, 8 priests. It's just one like that's one thing that just really stands out to me too, with like how popular priest is here versus the representation in Worlds this past weekend, where not a single person brought priest. I get why like people are making the counter lineups, but it is just kind of funny to see with that being like the second most represented deck here in Zarimi. And then it seems like APM, as usual, was quite a bit more in line with each other, with three druids, 3 hunters, 3 paladins coming in after that. Pretty unison there, and quite a bit more variety coming from the Stubbs, where we see a little bit of DH, a little bit more then in Hero, with one of them picking up the ban. So yeah, really close series, and yeah, congrats to the Stubbs for coming out on top there. And shout out to Osmanov for maintaining 4-0 in the fifth seed there.
Yeah, congratulations, Oz. That's quite the result.
Yeah, very, very close series. All the matches went to the fifth game. That is.
You love to see it.
Yes. Impermanence, anything you want to mention? Or sorry, Tom, anything you want to mention here?
No, just I'm really surprised by the. I mean, well, the amount of Shaman is predictable. I want to say, but really, really close series where every single match went to the fifth game is really something to witness. Yeah.
Something that I think I just want to mention. This was a format that actually hasn't had nerfs in a while for modern Hearthstone. Like, it's been a while since we had 4 weeks with no changes or anything like that. And
Yeah,
so,
actually.
something interesting that we see in formats like this, and that this match illustrates to me, is that the longer we have a format, the more the lineups become the samey. People just tend to concentrate on things they know work. And I mean, you see a lot more shamans now, and I think it's a consequence of that. There is also the boom of druid and some other things, but if you have long-standing formats, people will tend to repeat things, and just they will tend to converge to good lineups, which doesn't necessarily happen when you don't have a long format. And it's something that we can see in this match where there are actually quite few choices. There isn't so much of a variance. There are still a few lineups, but you can see they're converging to a few ideas.
I mean, I don't want to derail completely with your statement, but you do have a series where things don't change as often, and that is wild. But the thing is that, and I believe we would see the same thing in standard, even if the card pool is more limited. Um, but what happens is that people go for so when you don't see changes, people start grinding slowly, going towards what they know, what is good, just as you said. But then what people start doing is, okay, so we now know what is good, we don't know what is reliable, what people usually bring. I'm gonna counter that. So you start doing the counter,
You
and
have
the
more
counter to the
counter
counter,
lineups.
and if a meta becomes stale, quote unquote, what ends up happening actually is this: he knows that I know that they know that I know,
Yeah.
and you build upon the idea of they are going to bring X, so I'm going to bring Y because it wins exclusively against X, which I believe we are slowly starting to see here with more DH popping up, more
Even Death Knight.
DK, but well, we just got some changes today, so who knows?
Yeah.
That might change. Well, actually, no, sorry, that's not going to really change a ton because it is mainly attack DH that we're seeing over the pirate DH.
Yeah, but then again, you have the DH that is a fast deck that can win against Druid, and Druid maybe is no longer going to be a thing.
I think DH is probably still in a fine spot, especially. Yeah, because it still does have some good matchups going for it. With Shaman and whatnot stepping down.
Right, but if you bring it to counter, then you are no longer bringing it to counter. You're bringing it because it's strong, which is a different thing, right?
True, yeah.
So let's move to our final deck, our final match of the night for Legacy, if everyone's okay with that.
Yeah, sure.
So Tom, why don't you tell us about the Dead Legend facing the Nebula Nomads?
Of course, and let me see if it loads. So we have Dead Legend against Nebula Nomads, taking the win. Nebula Nomads, 14-11. We have on the first seed Santiago, losing 3-2. Tiki losing 3-0. On the third seed, Noob swiping Pescatarian 3-0. Waxtrax winning 3-2 against Yellow Dart, and lastly, Ginflios subbing on the fifth seed, winning 3-1 against Haster. So all the lower seeds taking the win, making it so that Nebula wins the whole week against That Legend. That Legend being one of the strongest teams on the conference.
They finally got taken down. That's 2 undefeated streaks snapped in that one series there.
That's
Oh
crazy.
yeah, I didn't realize.
Because they were really dominating. I remember we were going on about last week, so that's a huge dub for the Nebula Nomads there.
Mm-hmm. This has been a really crazy Dead Legend team, so the fact that they fell to a new team, I think. Or no, it's not a new team, but a team that has quite a few new players. It is fascinating.
I mean, I believe the team is new because their captain is new.
I thought they've been around for a while.
Azulinas, yeah. Lina, yeah.
Yeah.
And just as we were saying, really, really colorful lineups all across the board. We have BH, Hunter, Priest, Shaman, Warrior, Paladin, Mage, Druid. Like
we finally see Warrior in this matchup too, and 3 of them.
Yeah. And I believe we have a couple of Shamans getting through as well.
We do.
Yeah, there's still, like, even with the colorful lineup, we still do see 10 Shaman lineups, and for the first time, like in particular, we're seeing like the anti-Shaman lineup with 2 players, Wax Strats and King Viking, bringing the DK Warrior lineups. With both of those decks actually going through, and it paid off big time for them, with Viking getting the sweep with that lineup, and Wax Strats getting the 3-2 victory with the Warrior DK lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Which is odd because even Wax Strats banned the Shaman, but it does match very well into Priest and Mage still in that case.
Yes.
And Noob didn't bring any Shaman at all, and it really, really paid off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Noob was just like, I do not care about stats. This Swarm Shaman deck sucks. I'm just gonna walk in with the Broom anyway. With the colorful lineup.
Notice that a Mage ban happened.
Yeah, that did catch my eye. I'm curious as to, there isn't really like a more aggressive lineup there, right? I guess they were trying to play, make a better matchup for their Druid potentially, but their Druid ended up getting banned.
Yeah?
Yeah,
it's a curious one.
Makes sense.
It looks like a really fun series. This one takes the.
Yeah. Any final thoughts about this match before we go into our legacy? PPR, player power rankings.
No, I think we're good.
Okay. So, Impermanence, what is Legacy player power rankings looking like? What are the top 10 players in Legacy?
All right, let's see here. I'm just waiting for it to pop up. So, I'm already seeing some more inclusions from Defias over on the Legacy side here. As player-wise, Grumpy Ninja is actually taking the top of the player rankings with their 4-0 record. Actually, in fact, The top 7 players are all finishing off that week at 4-0, which is crazy. We got Grumpy Ninja up at the top with Defias, LT Cavalry from Do a Barrel Roll, second at the power rankings there, and Legends King Viking 23 taking the 3rd seat in the player power rankings. Repeating for Dad Legend, we do have Halo, their other 4-0 player. In 4th, Oxob in 5th, Niems in 6th, and Osmonaut in 7th. And then rounding out the final 3 players for Legend Power Rankings, we have Jet, Marty B, and a nice Jewish Owl, all with a respectable 3-1 record themselves. And then team-wise, as mentioned, we have the Wisps coming out just narrowly edging Dad Legend for the top of the team power rankings, both with 3-1 records. And 7 Mile Spanking Machine has just been spanking away 4-0 at a 3rd seat in the Legacy division. Rounding out the rest of the list, we got Defias with a 4-0 record so far. Lost Justin Hermanos sitting at 3-1. Do a Barrel Roll, who is technically undefeated with 3 wins, 0 losses, and a tie. And this actually had quite a few ties in Legacy here. Stubbs at 2-2. Anomaly perplexed me with a 2-1-1 record as well. 8-Headed Death Chop with a 1-2-1 record, and then 10th in the power rankings for Legacy is going to be the Ceaseless Expanse 8-Arc team. So yeah, quite a bit of ties there.
Yeah.
3 of them.
A lot of Legacy ties. It's crazy. Any final points about Legacy before we move on to our next series?
No.
No, yeah.
Well, before we move to
I
our
guess
main...
it is. Actually, no, sorry. It is kind of funny, I guess, to see that there are no players in the top 10 from the Wisps. It's just an all-around team effort, it seems, coming from that team. But otherwise...
Is from Wisps.
Jet? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm blind. Never mind.
8th.
All right, carry on.
Well, it is true, though. There aren't a lot of them. Which it's opposite of Dead Legend, which has 2 players in the top 10. But let's move back to the main screen where I want to ask Impermanence if they want to read us our commercial today.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So the commercial is in the show notes. Whenever you're ready, tell us a bit about how could you help THL and the shows.
Yeah, I got it right here. So, hey there, Twitch viewers. Have you subscribed to Team Hearth League yet? Then make today the day to subscribe to our channel yourself. The subscription enables our team to cover the costs of operating our website, as well as improving the quality of our streams to our viewers. If you have Amazon Prime or Twitch Prime, you can also subscribe to the channel for free. Subscribers will get a THL emoticon as well as a normal THL chat badge. So flip that thumbs up button and make sure you tune into our streams, and we appreciate each and every one of you. And as well, special note for our viewers, if you want to check out THL's social media, you can hit us up on our website at teamhearthleague.com. Follow us on Twitter at THL_HS, or join us on Discord at Team Hearth League. And the Team Hearthstone legend Saku continues to upload all of our videos onto our YouTube channel as well. Just search Team Hearth League to see some things previously recorded. And if you're watching us on our Twitch or possibly on YouTube, and for all you THL fans out there, there are THL shows most days of the week. So you can't go wrong tuning in at any time for that Hearthstone related content. Now back to the good part. Ciao.
All right. Thank you, Impermanence, for that great read. The commercial.
Great write-up.
Right?
Someone went in, put their soul into that one.
This has been seasons and more seasons of commercial. It's been so long that it just at some point felt right.
Yeah, it feels like the recipe is there. It's brewed to perfection. Anyway.
Um, with that, let's go on to Pro Series. Ready?
Okay.
Ready?
So let's start by taking a look at F12 facing the unidentified Pat tracking. So, Tom, how did this match go?
Let's take a look. I usually because Twitch takes a little bit for me to load. I usually open up the things on the website, and that's how I always have them before you post them on the live.
Yeah.
But it's going so slow today for me. This
Hmm.
internet. But anyway, we have F2L against Unified Pet Tracking in Pro, with F2L taking the win on a really close series, 14 to 12. Itachi on the first seed, losing 1-3 to SWAF, which is undefeated. Prebob winning against Caleb 3-2. Dabs winning against The Toucher 3-1. Muddy P winning 3-1 against Tiki, that is on the fourth seed. And lastly, Yorari losing 1-3 against Bill Snyder on the fifth seed.
This was such a tight match.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of 3-1s too. But overall, yeah, close one for F2L.
I love that we have a random wheel warlock just out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say actually, I'm glad to see that because that's the armor warlock list. It's funny that it's considered wheel on the site when wheel's actually in the UTC, but it looks like the Yanming list. Uh, it's got the one of Ravenous Kraken, the Arcanite Defense Crystals, and the Fizzle and whatnot. I think it is exactly the Yanming list from Worlds.
That
It is in the ETC.
that
The
list is
ETC is Domino Effect, Fizzle, and Wheel of Death, and they only play one Domino in the main.
not Wheel of Death. It is usually Kill Jaden, right? I still
No,
list I
Um,
saw.
in his main deck in this.
Yeah,
Oh.
Kil'jaeden's on the main deck right now.
Huh? I
Yeah.
guess.
Color me surprised.
Yeah.
So it is actually just. I mean, a more fair description of this deck would actually be Starship.
It's armor.
I guess kind of because look, it's not. I don't. It's not really playing the Arcanite Defense Crystal for necessarily the Starship itself. It's because they are playing the Brittlebone Buccaneer as well, so you can double up on the Death Rattle by giving it Reborn. So you will proc it twice, and it synergizes well with other things like Eat the Imp, for example. And you can just discount it with Fellfire Bonfire. I guess technically, if you're in a pinch, you could play the Tourist itself, but yeah. Oh wait, also they double up on it with the Kraken.
Yeah.
So I think the main goal is definitely stacking the armor. It's a sick list. I like that deck a lot.
It is so weird to me that this is a deck.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, you control out the early game versus these board decks, and you just stack your armor until you can kind of lay back on Sargeras and kill Jaden value. It's like the ultimate value deck if you can just get there, right?
I've seen weirder.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, at least it's not a Demon Seed.
Well, the Demon Seed is certainly faster. We'll say that for sure.
Yeah.
To be fair, we were just so over Demon Seed having like different like neat cards here and there. Like, oh, I'm gonna play these instead of this. No, like it was just such a well refined deck. I believe that 28 out of the 30 cards were standard. Like you need
Yeah.
to follow these 28 cards, and
Yeah.
you have like, and actually maybe 29. It was like that close of a deck.
Yeah, the deck's extremely efficient, and you don't have really much room to flex in that one.
Bye bye.
Um,
Bye, Seed.
Listen, it's Bavai Glare.
Nah.
Should we move on to our second pro match? Stay in standard before we go full wild.
All right.
Yes.
Now, our final pro match is the Hearthstone Queens facing Interstellar Strategists. Oh, that's a hard one to say. Impermanence. What happened here?
Yeah, so the Queens got the dub over the Interstellar Strategists 12 to 10. Pretty close one there. And this match was just crazy. It was pandemonium. We had 3 sweeps. The other 2 matches were 3 to 1. So people were just getting in, getting out, not taking too much time in there. So we're going to see from the Queens getting their dubs from the middle seeds, the second, third, and fourth. Getting 3-1, 3-0, and 3-1 from Lynn, Curly Wordy, and Jagatari, respectively. Curly subbing in and just casually taking a sweep home for the Queens, so that's pretty sweet. Love to see it. And the W's for the strategists going for Dagda and Ring in the first and fifth seed slot. Ring picking up their first dub of the season, and Dagda maintaining a 4-0 record. So very nice there. Shout out to that. Same as usual, ton of shaman, but this time it's only 7. That's crazy to say. There's only shaman brings. Sorry, I lied. There was 9 shaman brings. I was looking at the ban by accident. So yeah, that sounds more like it. But only 3 shaman bans. We're seeing a lot more ban diversity in this one, with 4 Dungar Druid bans catching up slightly, and a couple of hunter bans, with one of them being not the one that you'd expect. We're bringing back the Highlander Big Beast Druid, or not Druid, Hunter list. I believe. Yeah, I believe it was played by being Rachel, because Rachel also brought a Big Beast list. So Lynn decided to give it a try as well, and it worked out for her with the 3-1 victory, although it did catch a ban.
Yeah, I believe that Laini and being Rachel have brought that Big Beast Hunter before, if I recall correctly.
There was at least one player who brought it, but I don't remember if they were both Highlander. So I'm checking Rachel's list right now.
No, I believe one was Highlander, the other one wasn't. So either they switch but Hearthstone Queens love Big Beast Hunter.
I'm definitely starting to see that. I like that though. It's a fun archetype. I used to enjoy that quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely. I miss the egg. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, the egg's still seeing a little bit of play here in Rachel's list, and the non-Highlander list. It is playing the egg package and trying to loot the plushes.
I wanna play it in wild.
Oh no! I gotta spend mana for my cards.
You were playing Seed. What are you talking about?
Listen. I don't. Yeah. Okay. Fine. You're right. Well.
I won't stand for this double standard.
I can't. You're right.
Double wild. Sorry.
I can't say anything about mana cheating. I had plenty of fun doing that for quite a while there. But another thing that does stand out here is we're seeing a lot of DH. 5 of the aggro. 4 of the face DH. 2 pirates. None of them eating a ban though. They all got to play. So, yeah.
Any final comments about this match that anyone wants to share? And I apologize, I misclicked on something and the match went off a little bit early, but I'm bringing it back. Any final comments about the match?
No.
No, cool list from the Queens as usual.
Based, as the kid said.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we can take a look at the pro player power ranking. So, Impermanence, what does it look like in Pro after this week? Who is doing well? What teams are doing great? Tell us what is going on.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. I just don't have that note in front of me. I'm just waiting for it as well to load.
Yep.
Okie dokie. So yeah, couple couple of teams that we've covered so far tonight in the rankings, at least one of them being unidentified pet tracking. Their 3-1 record so far is going to put them at the top of the power rankings for pro. With Cheesemongers United coming in second, the technically undefeated record as well, 3-0-1 tie. And Ada's Litter coming in with a 3-1 record for third place. As we go further down the list, coming in at fourth is 3 Seed University with a 50-50 record. Brushy Tuna 2-1-1 with another tie there at fifth. F2L sitting at sixth at 3-1 record. Washed Up at seventh with the same. ET Yogg-Saron with the same 3-1 record as well. Hero Power coming in at ninth with the 0-3-1 record. And Staff of the Five Dubs with a 1-2-1 record to round out the 10th slot. Pretty balanced overall with division representation. I mean, a little bit more of the black with 6 teams from black, 4 from pink, but pink taking up the top 3 spot with the majority there. So pretty close overall as far as the spread. And finishing it off with the players, we got a Therian with a 4-0 record sitting at the top of the power rankings for pro, with Dagda at 3-0 at second. Both of these players are representing the pink division, and Maxibon coming in at third with a 3-0 record as well, coming in from Washed Up representing the black division. And finishing off the rest of the rank, we got Epicat at fourth with 3-1. Eswaf and Copa at 5 and 6, both 4-0. Eswaf moving into 5-0, I believe, after this week. So that's something to keep an eye out there for sure. Moving on up there. Trito 2 at 7th with the 3-1 record. Not Bamity and Pyrolama, each from Cheesemongers, coming with 3-1 and 3-0 records respectively at 8 and 9th. And finally, we got Platino at 10th with a 3-1 record from Team Hero Power. And again, here it seems actually it is completely even, with half the players being from the black and pink divisions.
Nice. This is actually quite interesting. There's so many great players. I mean, we're going to see it change as the season goes by because there's still quite a few weeks, but strong showings by everyone.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how many people are rookies. I know Eswaf is, and that's obviously a really great start for them there. I think everyone else has been here for quite a while, it seems. But otherwise, yeah.
And surprisingly enough, although Brushy Tuna is holding the 5th place and F2L holding the 6th place, we don't have any players from them on the power rankings.
No.
There's a lot of talent to choose from, I suppose.
And then Dagda holds the 2nd place, but their team is not there as well. Which I believe is Interstellar Strategy. You were right. It's a mouthful.
It's so hard. It doesn't seem like it should be hard to say.
Interstellar. I forget the name.
Strategists.
Interstellar Strategies. The problem is that when I read that, I immediately want to break into Spanish because those 2 words are just romantic words.
Yeah. Any final thoughts about Pro before we move into Wild?
Yes, I have a question. When Impermanence mentioned the 4th team, 3 Seed University, does that count for the thing?
For what do you mean?
For the seed counter, it's gonna be Demon Seed.
I thought it was just Seed. You know, you said Seed, so.
Well, I'll count
it. If that's the
it.
case, we got to put about 4 or 5 in there.
I mean, we're putting a lot of things. I will count it, but let's go. Are we ready to jump straight into Wild, where the counter's definitely going crazy?
Yes, bring it.
So we're going to start by looking at a chill match in Wild as the Wild THL Fanatics face against Anxious APM or an Anxious Mess. And Tom, why don't you tell us about it?
Of course. So we have Wild THL Fanatics against Anxious Puking Mess, or WTF against APM. We have WTF taking the win this week, 15 to 10 against APM. On the first seed, Superbase lost to Maxi 3-2. Shmupirari, second seed, won 3-2 against Reebok. Asiela Akari, 3-0 against KBLT. I'm not sure if this was oh, the word is escaping my mind. A DQ. And then we have Neon Heron 1-3 against Bone Masher. And lastly, the Valion on the fifth seed, winning 3-0, swiping light for the win with WTF.
That's quite the match, but not a lot of demon seeds here, are there?
No, the deck was slowly, I mean, I don't want to say fading from popularity, but
there were answers. People figured out answers, and there were plenty of options to play that could beat it.
yeah, and not only that, the biggest thing that it, I mean, the main thing Seed was really good against is Reno decks, which is what you find in ladder, especially in wild, because it's quite so less competitive than standard. Anything that's under Diamond 5 is probably going to be a Reno pile. Your comfort deck, your favorite class with yellow cards. But that's not what you see in THL. So because you don't see as much Reno decks, you are therefore not going to see as many seeds, which is what happens here. You see a lot of Malygos Druid. Yes, we also play Dungar in Wild, which I believe is actually not that popular in ladder, actually. But yeah, THL always has THL decks.
Yeah, 5 Malagos Druids, actually. And another pretty interesting high representation deck that I'm noticing from the Wild THL Fanatics is it's coming up as Pirate Rogue on the THL site, but it's like full on, it's Hooktusk Rogue.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a really fun deck that gets to make use of Pirate Admiral Hooktusk, the one that lets you plunder the enemy. You get to either rip cards out of their hand or steal their highest cost minion, or what was the third option? I don't remember that.
So you take card from their deck, hand, or steal their highest attack minion from the board.
Right, it was card from their deck. So yeah, the Fanatics brought 3 of those lineups. 2 of them paid off for them, so that's pretty spicy.
So
Yeah, it turns out that Bran into Sandbox Scoundrel is just good.
Yeah. Speaking of Benechi.
yeah. Anything else anyone wants to raise about this match before we move to our final match of the night?
Pretty cool lineup from Maxi with the Inner Fire Priest. Otherwise, no, it looks pretty standard.
Yeah, he's been cooking that for a while now. And I believe that we have an XL Druid, which is not Reno nor Malygos or Isel. That is just Meal Druid, which I guess is good. But yeah, fatigue is something you can do. And I believe that is also going to pick up now that Seed is no longer going to be a thing. Because the problem you had with Meal Druid is that, perfect, the opponent is now in fatigue. They are going to die. Unless they play Dancing, in which case you just accelerate their win condition for them.
Thanks for the free low.
Yeah. But yeah, I believe that we can move on to the next match.
All right, so let's take a look at our next match, which is E.T. Nazoth facing Hawk 2. So, Impermanence, why don't you tell us about this one?
Yeah, so E.T. Nazoth came out victorious here with a 13-10 match over Hawk 2. Getting some W's from their top 3 seeds. Username ABCD continuing his undefeated streak over OTZ. 3-1 there. With Curly Wardy getting a 3-1 W as well from the 3 seed spot over Yo Daddy. And Droopy taking a full sweep over Bui Bui in the 2nd seed. On the other side here, we got Hawk 2's 4th and 5th seeds, MTG Squirrel and the Watch Wanderer. Getting a 3-1 and 3-0 sweep as well for their teams. Pretty hectic, finish, I suppose. 3-3-1s and 2 sweeps, 1 for either side. First seed has some pretty interesting lineups. It just seems like, again, we see username bringing full combo with a seeds giant list. Pretty normal list, honestly. I believe he has Stompers in it. No, he doesn't. He cut the Stompers for the Cult Neophyte, but otherwise, pretty standard list. He is bringing the Miracle Ezeel Druid, which is the Barnes variant, where you only play the 2 minions Ezeel in Barnes, and you have Pendant to tutor them, and you just play a bunch of cards and cheat a bunch of mana. Both players ended up bringing Alex Rogue, which is kind of cool. Not the most popular, but I mean, there are a fair amount of combo players here. Kamas also brought the Alex Rogue, and he got to play it this week. Otherwise, a lot of similar offenders. We got a lot of Aggro Priest, Pirate DH, Quest DH, and even we have an Even Shaman coming out from Bui Bui as well. So I think that's one of the first times we've seen that in THL this season.
Yeah, their whole lineup with Egg Hunter, Quasar Rogue, and even Shaman is quite interesting. Although I believe that this was a no-show.
Yeah.
Because I see no bans. Unfortunately, because their lineup seems quite fun. Again, I'm a little bit biased against Egg, and unbelievable that Quasar is still playable in Wild even at 8 mana.
I mean, it's like a 46% deck, is it not?
Yeah, but for DHL, that's good enough.
Fair, I suppose.
Wait,
the thing that I find the most interesting about the Quasar list is that they didn't bring the what's it called? The Naga, the 4-drop.
Wait, they don't play the Naga?
Yeah, they didn't seem to bring the Swift Scale Trickster.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the name. They didn't bring that, and I'm wondering what the reason might have been for that. They had a couple of cards like Plague of Madness, as well as the Street Trickster and whatnot, and a Cold Light Oracle, but I'm wondering if they just forgot it?
No, I think that they just wanted cycle and survivability, so that's why you see 1 Plague of Madness and double evasion.
Right.
So instead of pushing to do the combo early, they want to make sure that they have a way to follow it up. So it's really coin, prep, Quasar, and you already have the evasion blade, the location on board, so you have a follow-up instead of just going in and then what I'm going to top deck.
So has the Naga just been dropped outright from most lists? Is this like the norm going forward?
I don't know. Personally, I think that I would play 1 Trickster, the Naga, because this deck also runs Street Trickster, the demon. But I believe that you would play 1, not sure if 2, because you don't want to shuffle another one in your deck, especially because the Naga is 4 mana and the Quasar is going to make that 1 mana, so you could brick there, which is not ideal. But yeah, No,
Definitely.
I'm not sure. Unfortunately, again, we don't get to see them play um, for us to know if
Right.
the deck was actually good or not.
Hmm. A little anticlimactic there, but it's okay.
Yeah. Should we move to the wild player power rankings?
Yeah, bring it up.
Go.
So, Tom, what does the wild player power rankings look like at the end of the day?
Let's see what they look like. Let's give it a second. There we go. So for the power rankings, we have Staff of the Five Doves on the first spot. Then we have Wild THL Fanatics 4-0 on the second spot. Uh, that's why I was saying, depending on how you win and who you face or how your team goes through, you could have, as you see here, a team that had a bye being 2-1 on the first spot and a team that is undefeated on the second spot. So again, that's why the formula may seem weird, but it works. Trust me. Then on the third spot we have Hack 2. Fourth spot we have Anxious Puking Mess. And lastly, we have E.T. Nasaf on the fifth spot. As for the players, on the first spot, we have Username, undefeated, player of the week. On the second spot, we have Filtrophobe, 3-0, also undefeated. Maxibon on the third spot, also undefeated, 3-0. Movie Daddy, 3-1 on the fourth spot. And lastly, Copa on the last spot, 3-0. And you can see why Staff of the Five Doves is on the first spot. We have two players from them taking the second place and the fifth place, respectively, for that team on the players' power rankings. So, although they have a 2-1 score, their players are somewhat stacked, if you want to use that word.
Yeah, they got a really deep lineup, really good players there.
Nice. Any final comments on the wild standings before we move on to our main screen for checkout?
No, pretty neat to see Username as a rookie at the top of the power rankings. Otherwise, no.
All right. So, we're coming back to the main screen for our checkout question. And our checkout question is we had balance changes. And I want one thought, so you don't need to go into everything. That's not the plan. Just one thing you think happened, or that has changed, or that you think is good or bad. One thought about the nerfs. And I'm going to start with impermanence.
Yeah, so nerf wise, I'll talk about Siege, sure. Obviously, they took Glare out back. The card is completely different for all intents and purposes now. It's basically just like a 0-mana 3/4, because it is just a battle cry now to refresh 3 mana crystals. So that card is definitely going to be out of Demon Seed lists, which, I mean, it's nerfed, but there has been some conversation, like Tom and a couple other people were mentioning, where it might be seeing some play in the wild format in some kind of like more aggressive low curve decks, like cute warlocks who just want to play like cheap 0-mana cards with horrors and stuff like that, and then buff up the board. As far as the Seed nerf itself, like as a deck, I do think it's probably going to still be playable, because remember, we do have the fatigue variant that we have seen in THL last year, or sorry, yeah, I believe last season and the last couple seasons as well, where you do take yourself to fatigue and deal damage that way without mass production.
Yeah, it wasn't as popular because the draw engine, instead of being Glare with um, mass production, was discard package with the location.
Yeah. And I definitely think that that list has some more merit now. And it does do technically more damage. Well, I guess, yeah, I think it does do more damage because you're not fixed to 30 a turn. And the deck overall is going to be slowed down though, so you're not going to see like turn 3, 4, 5 high rolls of like quest completion and whatnot. Otherwise, as far as the Giants list, unsure. I'm unsure. I think the deck, like the archetype itself, in some way, shape, or form, will still exist in the format, maybe as like a tier 3 option, especially with the influx of other decks that are popping up, like Reno decks or other slower decks like that. But it's not going to be anywhere near as snowballing fast as it was. It's going to be a little bit more punishing to play, and with 12, 12, 12, I mean, that in itself puts it back at like at least a turn or two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As for that is seed. As for what I was saying earlier, before the show was on, the thing is that, and I also made this comment when we were talking about the standard meta with your Inside Lotus, is that Seed is really good against Reno decks. And now that Seed is not going to be as good into Reno decks, because it may as well be dead in some pockets, we're going to see a lot of Reno decks, just piles of deck cards. Um, and we are going to slowly switch, which actually was my prediction like 3 or so years ago, that slowly Wild is going to turn into Reno decks with OTK behaviors. We already have Reno Mage with Orb, or what is the Romath. You have Holy Wrath Paladin, which can also be Uther. You have, well, Reno Shaman is just Shutterwalk, which if you add an Astalor in there is also an OTK.
And Murmur. They do some funny stuff with that.
Yeah, that's fair, but I'm talking about like more real decks. Murmur is still just a meme.
Yeah.
So we are slowly and more definitely now with this change going into just going into Reno decks with OTKs in them, which is certainly a format to play in. As for the other changes, for Wild at least, because that is again my main mode, Crystal Cluster didn't see that much play, except for Reno Druid. But again, it was 35 card in that list. It wasn't like, oh yeah, I wanna for sure have this on my code. As for the Sigil, the Pirates one, that wasn't played in Shaman, but it was played in um, the Edge. Pirate the Edge was the other second aggro deck that you could see more popular popping up. Of course, first spots taken by Aggro Priest, mostly the XL version. So that's also going to take a little bit of a hit. But again, because Seed is no longer going to be as predominant, you're going to see a lot of Reno decks, and Reno decks love eating aggro. So either way, Pirate the Edge was probably going to be falling from grace. Yeah, let's say that. Pirate the Edge was falling from grace with these changes.
Yeah, it's getting phased out.
Yeah.
What else? What else was changed? We have Sonia. In the wild, it was just a meme card.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It will change standard a lot.
Oh, definitely. But I cannot really talk from wild. From my perspective, yeah, I'm super happy that I got Dust, and I get to keep my signature one. I have a lot of duplicates cards. I don't have a collection like Seri, but I have a bunch of cards. So whenever something is nerfed, I get to keep. I'm like, haha, I get to keep the signature one. Rest guy also had a signature. I tested the normal one. Um, but yeah. What else got dodge? Um, we have
Ziliax.
Celiac. Celiac I actually predicted was going to be nerfed 6 times. So far 5. So one more and I win my bet. I don't know who it was against, but I'm going to win. Um, and then we have, I believe it's called Dolgath, the um, weird legendary from Rogue that was actually a buff, not a nerf. And I've seen a couple of comments that made me chuckle, which is that Dolgath is just the disguised toast guy, but worse.
Yeah, way worse.
Which I think it's fair. It's that it can even it doesn't go face like what? Oh, you get to deal 4 to a minion. Cool, I guess.
I think even if it was like 2 mana, it might still not be the greatest. It didn't need to have a stat change. It could have been a 3 mana 4/4, and I think it still would have been like pretty bad.
I mean, especially when you have what is the name of the epic spell? Tarsleek. When you have Tarsleek in the same rotation as that, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. I don't know, Lotus, because you play more standard than Impermanence and I. Do you have any insights, as you said earlier, on Sonya is probably going to change the meta, but what else can you perhaps
I think
give us?
Sonya Rogue loses a lot. Am I convinced Rogue is dead? No. I think Rogue is going to figure it out.
Rogue always finds a way.
Yeah, I do think the it was never a good deck, but the pressure points Rogue is gone. That deck can't do anything anymore because you really wanted Sonya to double your spells. The other decks, I think they will figure out how to do it. I think the other nerfs, Shaman was hit quite hard. So I think Shaman is going to be a bit down. I think there are other Shaman decks that might be able to survive. So I don't see Shaman as completely dead.
No, I think honestly, like Big Shaman and Rainbow Shaman potentially could still see success.
Yeah.
More so in Big Shaman. It's just a question, I think, if Razzle Dazzler is fast enough, which it seems like the format will be slowing down with these changes because like the Ziliax effect, it affects pretty much. Sorry, the Ziliax nerf affects pretty much like most, if not all, board decks, right? Because it does touch.
I think
Pirate DH and Standard Shaman, Zarimi, Hunter.
So the problem to me is, to me, my big question, and I haven't tried it enough, is if Dungar Druid is actually dead.
I mean, it loses a significantly easy curve, which was the 2 mana spell on 3.
Yeah,
on 3 for like that is a really big hit because it was the perfect curve of doing 3 into 6 into 9 if you already had the Dungar in hand.
I
mean, or
agree.
any of the other minions.
So my fear about it isn't just because of that. My fear is that you're losing aggro. That deck, the only thing that stopped it was aggro.
Yeah, it's true, but I mean, it does have a full extra turn, like assuming it doesn't have coin or innervate to be AFK now.
So I think Druid is gone. I do agree. But I'm not convinced. Druid has been annoying. And so
I wonder if Druid's going to shift to like Reno or something. Or if Dungar would just still be viable.
My guess is they'll keep the same, but I'm not sure. I need to try it more.
I mean, we've seen here in last week on DHL how to counter a Donger.
Yes.
It's not impossible without aggro. I mean, so I think that
Yeah.
with the nerf, I think it's slowed enough. My main issue as someone who loves Druid, and this is just like on the unrelated side of things, is that I rather them address the problematic big payoffs instead of
Mm-hmm.
the ramp. They always go for the ramp. And it's like you never learn, at least in my opinion, because eventually you just have this mass of things like you nerfed back when you nerfed wild growth. It is finally reverted after how many years? They nerfed now crystal cluster. They nerfed the dragon, the whelp. It got
Yeah.
banned. The whelp got banned. That is insane. I mean, that is insane for a standard. In wild, you have a wild ban every two expansions, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just address the problematic payoff, because you are just waiting for another class to eventually get ramp or something and be like, aha, I get to play the big payoff card for free. And then
I mean,
Druid is like,
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be the ramp class.
like I agree with that 100%, and I think that like most people, when they were anticipating the Druid adjustment, people were looking at Dungar specifically, potentially going to either 10 mana or potentially even summoning 2 minions from deck. But yeah,
Yes.
it is kind of odd that they did decide to go that route, hitting the ramp again.
And I don't want to say that Dunger is like broken or anything, but if a card is seeing play in wild, you keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Because and this is the most disturbing part. You play Dunger in Arena Fall deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we do it in wild. We already play nerfed Dunger because it can pull off a Renafel from your deck.
Yes. No, I think it's going to be an interesting meta. And I think we're going to see.
Oh, definitely. Again, even though I sound salty or not, maybe that is just the way that I speak. I do believe that it was past due for them to address the seed.
Yes.
I do, however, think that a rework was what most people were looking for too, instead of just slowing it down, because it does feel like you're just kicking it down the road, just waiting for the next mini set card to bring back the demon seed again. Although killing glare is something that stops it dead in its tracks 80% of the time.
Yeah.
As far as the rest of the um, not expansion, the nerfs and the meta goes for wild, I think we're going to see some changes, at least in lower elo. As for standard, a little bit of a shakeup. I would have liked it a little bit more aggressive, perhaps as many buffs as nerfs.
Well, I
Because
would have
it
liked
is
Oracle
really
gone.
weird.
Oracle not being gone is annoying.
Oracle dodged a bullet.
No, Oracle is the only playable card from the set. Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
But the thing is that
I don't want it to get nerfed, but I'm just saying I'm surprised it didn't get nerfed.
because it's Azure Drake. That card just is good, feels good. It's not just because it's popular doesn't mean it's offensive.
It is though. It definitely is.
No, there are cards that are like really offensive. Just because a card is popular, like you need to see it with just it's just right there at the edge of being offensive. But looking at the stats, it is not. It is annoying because it is better than Azure Drake. We don't have Hall of Fame anymore, so you're not going to be Hall of Fame in Oracle. And a ban is not granted for a card like that. But to finish my idea, I think that having changes to Seed, Dark Lair, Ramp, Shaman, and then one buff, and it's to the most unplayable garbage card. What the hell? Just
For real.
give me like 4 more buffs. Just throw some stats.
I'm just
in
shocked they never
any
buffed
direction.
Draenei. Draenei
I
didn't
was
get
literally
any
about to
buff.
say that.
Draenei is just like, no, it's good. It's completely unplayable, but it's good. That's how we wanted it.
Surely this is the confirmation that we're getting Draenei support in the mini, though.
Yeah.
Copium, but like surely, right? Surely they're looking ahead. They're planning.
Well, I think this is a good time for me to bring it back. I want to give a super, super special thank you for Tom and Impermanence for being here with me tonight. Thank you all so
glad to
much
be
for
here.
joining.
It's been fun as usual.
We might be back next week. We're definitely not coming back on Tuesday next week. I don't know what will happen the next 2 weeks. Maybe we're back. Maybe not. It will be a little bit harder with Christmas and New Year's falling on our typical days. But we'll try something out. And if we are back, you'll get to know it. So if so, come join us. If you liked our opinions, feel free to DM us. If you didn't like our opinions, tell us what we got wrong. And we're here always to chat. I want to wish you all a good night, and we'll see you later. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
See you later, everyone.